It's now Friday the 28th. The garbage trucks are back. It's actually two of them, which is good. This is great service. They're removing all of the ruined furniture. We had quite a lot of stuff taken away yesterday. I'll show you the inside of the house in a minute. And I've also seen a vehicle recovery truck starting to tow away the vehicles that were completely submerged. And the atmosphere here has changed a bit. When the flood first happened, there was a lot of adrenaline and everyone was in survival mode and just wanted to get through the flood. And when they did get through the flood, you know, they were sort of quite relieved and spirits were quite high. Now things have calmed down, the water has gone. People have started to realise what's actually happened, and the mood is a lot more sombre. This is the house of the police colonel up here. He's lost a hell of a lot of stuff. It's a big house. This house was built on 2 plots of land instead of 1 plot like my house, and extended, so it's quite a large house. Yeah, he's lost a huge amount of stuff. We got the electricity back last night, but I've turned off the breaker for downstairs because where the water got into the plug sockets, they need to be checked out and dried out first before we turn the power on. But we got power upstairs, which is good. The water that was used to fill this tank isn't really clean. You know, it's good enough to you know, wash the outside and flush toilets, but not clean enough to shower with. Water's becoming a really big problem, and the mains water still isn't on. I haven't had a shower since Monday morning. I feel disgusting. In Thailand, it's customary to shower twice a day. I just feel really awful now. I just want to get into a warm shower. All I've had is a bit of cold water, so I splash my face. The fish haven't done too well. We got two dead carp floating here. I think this is called a snakehead, this one. That's dead as well, but you could see yesterday they were really struggling in this water, so it was obvious they were going to die. Let's take a quick look inside the house. So yesterday we got rid of a lot of stuff. We had an L-shaped counter, so one part's gone. This other part was too difficult to get apart. That TV cabinet is gone, one of the old sofas. So we got rid of a lot of stuff. Oh, the counter over here has gone, and we managed to clean up a little bit. And I've been carrying on cleaning up outside. I haven't got this operational yet, but hopefully fairly soon. And the toilet downstairs is one room we haven't done yet. I'd like to do that today and get the cats' litter boxes back where they usually are. They're upstairs at the moment in our living space. It's not very nice having cats' litter boxes up there. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment, 4 days after the flood. It feels better at least getting rid of a lot of the damaged furniture. It's a psychological effect. When you're confronted with so much damage and construction, it makes you feel really bad. But at least getting that stuff out of the house and cleaning up a bit has made me feel better. I've been washing dishes. The water I'm using comes from this tank, which is dirty, but the idea is just to get the food off the plates because it was attracting flies. We'll have to wash everything again when we get clean water, but we don't know when that is. One estimate I've heard today said within 24 hours, and another estimate said this afternoon, so I'm not sure. The problem when it does come back is that there are hundreds of thousands of people waiting for clean water to clean up, and the water pressure is going to be extremely low. As I go around the house, I just keep finding more and more. This electric gate opener, the motor and control mechanism, that's probably damaged beyond repair and will probably need replacing. That's going to be quite expensive. I forgot to take my tyre inflator up, which is a real shame. I use this a lot. Yeah, it's only a few thousand baht, but all these things add up. This old radio as well, though I haven't used that much, and it's no big deal. But just little things that I forgot have been ruined. Our electricity came back yesterday, but we're only using it upstairs. I've got the breaker turned off downstairs because a lot of the power sockets were submerged. I've just opened up a view and it looks okay inside. Maybe a little bit of dampness, but it's certainly no water. So my wife is just blowing them out with a hairdryer. We've got extension leads coming from upstairs to provide power, and hopefully that should do the trick. I've got a very good electrician, but I just called him and he's got big problems at his house. He's got a completely flooded house and he's lost his cars as well, so he can't come, so we've got to do it ourselves. Another piece of good news is about an hour ago, I noticed 2 trucks outside the police colonel's house, and they're loading up all his electrical appliances. And I said to the guy, "Are you taking those away to repair?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Well, can you repair our stuff?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." So he came to the house and took a look. That's the washing machine, tumble dryer, fridge, freezer, and freezer. And I think he's going to come back and collect those to repair them. And the repair shop is in St Cloud. So all the repair shops in Hat Yai are going to be really busy now, but not too busy in St Cloud. So if we can get those repaired, that's going to be a big help, and it will save money. Pretty soon, laundry is going to become a problem. I normally do laundry every 2 days, and we haven't done laundry now for about 5 or 6 days. We've still got enough clothes at the moment, but that's going to become a problem very soon. So that's another piece of positive news. My wife has to go into work today. One of the girls she works with is in a single-storey house, and absolutely everything has been wiped out. She's been using her curtains to wipe the floor. So my wife is giving her some bedding that we haven't used for a long time. And she's also preparing towels and clothes. So people at the moment are, well, some people are absolutely desperate for supplies. Everything was wiped out. They've got nothing left at all. Just 1 week ago, this was a fully functional, very comfortable, very clean house. Now it's just a shell. And although we've done loads of cleaning in the last few days, it's still quite dirty. I've done pretty well today. Meeting that guy yesterday was an absolute godsend. My original expectation was I wouldn't get any help for several weeks because everyone is so busy. And meeting him yesterday was great. He said he'd be back tomorrow, and sure enough, he came this morning. So they've taken all of our appliances. They've taken the big fridge freezer, the small freezer, the tumble dryer, the washing machine. They've also taken the oven and the dishwasher. So they've taken everything, they're loaded up on pickup trucks, going back to their shop in St Cloud, and we'll try to fix them. You know, if they can fix them, it's going to save me some time and money. And also, this guy does everything. He does air conditioning and he does plumbing as well. So he's been able to plumb back my water tank. So that's all as it was before the flood. The only thing we haven't got is water. That might come back tomorrow. So if the mains water comes back, even at a low pressure, that will fill the tank. He's checked all the electrics today. The electrics are working on the down floor. He's checked the pump. That works. So then once we get water, we'll be able to pump water upstairs and take a shower. All my electrical appliances are now loaded onto trucks, and they're going for a vacation in St Cloud. My original mindset was I'd just have to replace everything, buy new. But if they can be repaired, it will save me some time and save me some money, so we'll give that a shot. Every house is the same in our soy, so it's very busy here, pickup trucks everywhere. I'm a bit annoyed about my wife having to go back to school today. There's nothing worse in Thailand than being an employee. The salaries are absolute peanuts, but you're expected to do anything you're asked to do. And after the 2010 flood, my house was in a terrible state. It was actually a smaller flood than this one, but the house we used to live in was on a lower location, so it was hit harder. And I was trying to clean that up, and I had a pregnant wife, and I was expected to go to the school to help clean up. And at that time, my priority was sorting out my own house. So today, I've been busy myself. I've been trying to assist the workers that have been here, and I'm also trying to keep an eye on my kids. So it's not ideal. Ideally, my wife will be here to look after the children, and I'd just be able to get on with the work. The wife has talked about keeping this countertop and just having a concrete base underneath. Then we wouldn't have this problem again. Good idea, but it's going to be very difficult finding someone to do it at the moment. I really hate this MDF, this medium density fibre wood. Even before the big flood, we had a few minor leaks underneath the sink. And as soon as water comes in contact with it, it just starts to disintegrate. It's horrible stuff. So it's fine if it's completely dry. As soon as there's any water, it just falls apart. Please excuse my appearance. It's Saturday now, and I haven't had a shower since Monday morning, so I must look pretty awful. I feel pretty awful. In the previous videos, I've shown you quite a lot about my own situation and my own home, but I've also been hearing a lot of things about other places as well, and they're not good. I've made a few notes. So a few days ago, my wife was going through her social media feed, and she just ended up crying. The stuff she was seeing was so bad. The human suffering as a result of this flood has been tremendous. Heard this morning that 7 people were found drowned in one house. There are 2 main canals that take floodwater away from Hat Yai to Songkla Lake, Utapao and Klong Ro Nung. That's R1 canal. And this house was right on R1 canal, and there was a really severe flood there, and they all died. It was a single-story house. A few days ago, a 4-year-old girl drowned. I think she was in the process of being evacuated, and either fell out of the boat or the boat capsized, and she just got swept away in the water. And they couldn't save her. 4 years old. I saw another video of a guy. He was climbing onto the roof because the floodwater had filled the house, and he had a 2-month-old baby with him, trying to save the baby. These things are just terrible. How many people have died? I'm looking down at my notes here. Well, I saw a newspaper report that said 100. My daughter told me she saw something on TikTok that said 300. My wife said 500, maybe 1,000. The central authorities have sent 1,500 body bags to Hat Yai, so that might give you an idea how many people they think may have died. It's definitely in the hundreds, maybe in the thousands. It's terrible. Thousands of cars have also been submerged. As I said before, the big difference between this one and the one in 2010 was in 2010, it rained heavily throughout October and flooded right at the beginning of November. And everyone knew what was coming and had plenty of time to prepare. With this one, on Sunday, I thought everything would be fine, and I was under the belief that where I live doesn't flood, so I wasn't really worried. On Monday morning, there's floodwater at the back of the development. I thought, oh my God, this is not looking good. And as the water started to rise, we thought we'd better start to prepare by moving stuff upstairs. But we have very little time. It's like less than a day. So people say, oh, why didn't you move? Why didn't you go somewhere else? Well, because of the speed at which this took place, and the local authority has also been criticised for not giving people warnings in time. But I'm not really sure what went on there. I've just heard things that the red flag wasn't hoisted soon enough. or that a red flag was taken down in place of a green flag to say things were safe, but it wasn't safe. I really don't know what was going on. I've heard about bodies floating in the water, like just bodies in cars. A neighbour this morning told me that at Gimyong Market, the flooding had reached 6 metres. 6 metres. When the last flood came in 2010, people were talking about 2 metres, as being like a really high. 6 metres. I've heard about people who were stuck on rooftops, just in single-storey houses. So the water came into the house, they got nowhere to go apart from up on the roof. On the roof for 3 days with just an umbrella, no food and drink, no one to help them. One of my neighbours is renting a house, and during the big flood of 2010, we were renting a house in the Cape Bad area. And after the flood happened, we just took it upon ourselves to clean up. It was our living space, and it was up to us to clean it up. The tenants this neighbour has got in the house haven't done a thing apart from call her to tell her to come and clean it up. I just can't believe some people. And they've also told her that they don't want to rent the house anymore. They're going to move, But this is hardly her fault. Lots of businesses closed. I've tried ringing a few places and just no answer. You want something, you want someone to help you, you want to buy something, and you just can't get the help you need. No tradesmen available. I've been really lucky, finding the guys that I found yesterday who have come to help today. I'm very, very, very fortunate. Traffic is crazy. I've been told it's taking. I live near Hackney Airport. It's taking 3 hours to get into town. Normally if the traffic's not too bad, it's 20 minutes. So 3 hours. Reasons for that: just some places are still flooded. There are lots of abandoned cars, and there's a big sinkhole on Route 4 just in front of the Al Fahad Muslim Hotel. If you know this area, that's on the same road as Mega Home and the big Port Auto petrol station. It's just a huge hole in the road, so the road's impassable, and that's one of the main arteries into and through Hat Yai. I go that way when I want to go downtown. So the traffic's really, really bad. I checked the English language newspapers. I was a bit disappointed with the Nation. They're sort of focusing on the political side of it. How this is going to affect the government. I don't think anyone's really interested. They just want to try and get things back to normal. They're talking about giving people more loans to get themselves back straight again. One of the biggest social problems Thailand has got is household debt. There's a huge amount of household debt. So people need money, so they're giving them more loans, but that's just going to mean even more household debt. Right. Most people have been fantastic. We've had people come to the house with eggs, food, bottles of drinking water. Everyone's helping each other. But I've heard some bad stories, and the bad stories are all in this Cape Bad area, like District 8, which is where we used to rent a house. They're all there, nowhere else. So there's been looting, and I can understand if people haven't got food, and no one's giving them food, they need to eat. I can understand stealing food or drinking water. That's theft isn't really acceptable, but under extreme conditions, food and drink, But these people have been looting beer and cigarettes. That they're hardly essentials. And my wife told me that some rescue workers that have gone into that area have been shot at. And I'm thinking, why on earth would you shoot a rescue worker? And apparently it's because people in that area have been profiteering. So that people need food. So there's some people selling food at exorbitant prices. Like a box of rice for like 400 baht or something, making a huge profit. And if people want to get out, they've got a boat. Again, that will cost a lot of money. So what they don't like are these rescue workers coming in and offering those services for free. So they've been shooting at them, which is absolutely crazy. When we lived in Cape Bad, there were some really nice people, but there are also some very unsavoury characters as well. There was a lot of street racing, pickup trucks and motorbikes, going around the streets at crazy speeds, music being played loud, people not having any consideration for other people. So yeah, there are nice people, but there are quite a few lowlifes in that area. When I went to my 7-Eleven yesterday, I wanted a basket, and the owner of the store, who I know quite well, told me that all the baskets have been stolen. The Hat Yai Mayor has apologised, and that's about it. That's about my sort of little roundup. But say, my situation is not good. I'm not happy with the way things are, but in relative terms, I am so much better than so many other people.